All right, welcome back to Just Car Guys, the show where me and my dad talk about the latest car news and car stories from this week. We got some pretty cool ones today. Starting off here, we have an interesting patent coming from Rivian. So Rivian has filed a patent for yet another turning maneuver. The first one of the two was actually what they called the tank turn. This is really cool. So it allowed the EV to spin in place using the four motors spinning in opposite directions and effectively turning it on like tank treads.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. So, but this feature can get it stuck and kind of dig it down in like loose surfaces like sand and soft dirt and stuff like that. They're now patenting a new feature called the K-turn, which allows one wheel to remain stationary with the rest of the vehicle pivoting around it, significantly reducing the turning radius. Now, that might sound familiar to you. This is actually a feature that is similar to what the Ford Bronco has called trail turn assist. When at low speeds, the inside rear wheel is locked and the car pivots around it, shortening turning radius by up to 40%. Pretty cool feature there.
That's a good
idea. I think that's
idea.
awesome.
You might as well use all of the different, if you're going to have a different motor on each wheel, you might as well use those independently.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Makes a...
Another thing with Rivian is that they've also announced that deliveries for the R1T pickup truck are delayed again until September of 2021. Next up here, this might upset some of you, but Ford has discontinued the Power Stroke V6 diesel option in its F-150 pickup truck. A Ford representative said the decision was made because our customers overwhelmingly order our EcoBoost V6 gasoline engines instead. This was the least powerful engine in the lineup, but it did have 440 foot-pounds of torque, so people who are still interested in towing capabilities, Ford has recommended customers opt for the Power Boost, which is their 3.5-liter V6, pushing 430 horsepower and 570 pound-feet of torque, but of course, it's more expensive.
See, I really thought they were going to do something different with their diesel engine, the small one that you're talking about, like maybe have offerings in some of their other smaller platforms.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that's kind of an untapped market with the smaller diesels, but you can get a lot of power out of those things.
Oh, yeah.
And they're very efficient and they run forever, but yeah, interesting.
Very interesting. So next here, the Hyundai Veloster is dead. Except for the cool one, which is the Veloster N. They discontinued everything else except they left this beautiful hot hatch. And so keep in mind, this awesome little hatch is pretty sweet and comes with a 275 horsepower, 2-liter 4-cylinder that you can get with a 6-speed manual transmission or a 8-speed dual clutch transmission. And a Hyundai spokesperson announced that the reasoning behind this is pure market demand, so hopefully the Veloster N sticks around for a little while longer. This thing's cool. Have you seen these things in action?
I've never actually been in one or
I really want
to, but yeah, I would like to.
They're awesome little things. I don't know. There's something about hot hatches. I really like hot hatches.
Hey, I'm glad Hyundai's staying in the game with it.
Oh, agreed, 100%. Like, I mean, they got rid of everything else and just kept that for us enthusiasts there.
It's interesting because they've been up in their game on several things, their interiors and that kind of stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
But then they still dabble in the sport market, right?
Yeah, which I love.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
You have to add a little something in there.
Good for them.
Enthusiasts. So, next here, of course, we have more news from Hyundai. The 2022 Hyundai Santa Cruz starts at just $25,175 for the base SE model. So this now does make it more expensive than the Ford Maverick, a couple $1,000s more, but it has more features such as 18-inch wheels, many driver assist features, and a remote opening tailgate. I'm not sure how I feel about the front end on this thing.
I don't know about the looks. They're pretty
creative.
Extreme. Yeah,
we'll say that.
There's a certain market that they're looking for. I don't know it's necessarily the truck market. I think they're looking at folks that maybe aren't normally truck people. And
it's a truck for people who aren't truck people.
Yeah,
is what it is.
Yeah.
It's the city truck.
Maybe they'll get some action out of that potentially. but I mean that bed
that's what the Ford Maverick really
appears
is,
to
too.
be barely usable. Like that looks like a pretty small bed, so I'd be curious to see how much you can actually put in the thing.
Agreed. So this also comes with a 2.5 liter inline 4 engine and an 8-speed automatic transmission, as well as front wheel drive. All wheel drive is a $1,500 options for this thing, and from there the top end option has a more powerful turbocharged engine and all wheel drive, which starts at $40,455.
Oh, it's a decent sized price tag for the thing.
Yeah, that's quite the jump. Well, I mean, it starts at 25.
Yeah, but still,
which is
getting
also
up to
like, wow, that's pretty cheap for
entry level.
I should have put a picture of the rear in this thing, but if there's a decent amount of bed space, that ain't bad.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously you're not going to get a ton of bed space because it's a small pickup, right?
Well, yeah.
So, for somebody who needs to haul
least
some stuff
something
around and
usable,
you don't
yeah.
want to put it in your carpeted SUV, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So now, switching from Hyundai, we go over to some Infiniti news, and this is something I'm actually excited about because I particularly never like seeing the old model on the road. But the 2022 Infiniti QX60 has received a significant price increase of $2,500 from the 2020 model, bringing the total cost for a base model to $47,875. But with this more expensive price, the new QX60 does look significantly better and comes with many improvements in powertrain design and features. This looks way better than the last one.
Yeah, it's pretty good looking.
It's really not for a large
I
SUV.
like what they've done with
it.
the two-tone as well, with the different color top.
I like
that.
it.
That's yeah.
And I like what they did with the radar. They didn't make like a big opening around it. It looks a lot more integrated. You know what I'm saying? So all versions of the SUV come with their 295 horsepower 3.5 liter V6 front wheel drive and a 9-speed automatic transmission. All wheel drive is an option on all trim levels, but price varies from $2,000 to $2,900. The base trim is called Pure, and they go up to Luxe, Sensory, and Autograph. Autograph totaling $61,375.
Okay.
So quite the price tag on this thing. I really like what they've done with the rear end compared to that previous model.
Yeah.
They really bumped it up.
Yeah, that looks
And check out
significantly
this
better.
interior.
That's beautiful.
That's fantastic. That looks so comfortable.
Well, you know my feeling about the screen, but outside of that,
So
it does look pretty good.
this is a trend I've been noticing. What do you think about the integrated air vents?
I like it. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
I like just how it looks. They look a lot more recessed
nice
and
and
kind of
clean.
part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Also, I like their trim names.
Yeah.
It's got a premium feel to it. Pure, Luxe, Sensory, and Autograph.
I mean, about the autograph.
Yeah,
is
that
kinda
doesn't make
odd.
sense.
There must be something
That
else
doesn't
to it
fit,
that I just
but-
don't know enough about. But
So as far as features go, you can assume this thing is loaded, with the Luxe bringing 20-inch wheels, driver assist, navigation, and cooled front seats, which I love cooled front seats. If you never experienced that, you have to.
especially on the
fantastic.
leather like that.
Oh yeah, it's so good. And the sensory trim introduces massaging seats, heated second row seats, and more, and of course more awesome features as you go through the trim levels. So I mean, for the pricing, some pretty nice features.
Yeah.
Like those are, and that's not even the top of the line, and you're already getting into massaging seats that are cooled and stuff like that.
We
It's
are
pretty
talking
crazy.
about Infinity here, though. Like,
Well, yeah, but
it's
it's not Porsche or something like that. It's Infinity still.
Yeah. That, I mean, good for them. I personally don't get the massaging seats in the car. Maybe in the
I've never
seat-
had
in
it
the back
though.
seat or
Have
something.
you actually tried it?
No, but I don't.
That's the thing. You
Yeah,
gotta try it.
I've been
I
in
wanna
vehicles
try it.
where the seat vibrates when you're like,
that's dumb.
for like the
Squeaking the table.
lane assist. I know I'm making a lot of noise with hitting the table. Like if you start encroaching on the line or something.
Oh,
it
is that
buzzes
which
at
one
you
is
or
that? Is that
whatever, but
the Cadillac,
Yeah.
the Escalade? That
Yeah.
freaked me out. I was driving one through a car wash for work, and it started freaking. I'm like, what's going on?
But so in a similar fashion, like I'm sure it doesn't have like the kneading, like it's digging in your back. It's probably some sort of vibration, and I don't know if that's that pleasant. Like,
Well, I
for
doubt
when
it's
you're driving.
I mean, I gotta try.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
but I think we should still
maybe.
try it.
Maybe.
I think it'd be awesome. So next, there is a new Porsche tuner on the block, and their car's pretty insane. This thing is wild. So the original Gambala tuning company was sold and still exists, but there's a new company named after Hugh Gambala's son, Mark Philip Gambala. Mark Philip Gambala's first product is this insane desert set Porsche based off the Porsche 992 911 Turbo S called the Marcian. This thing is wild. So the bodywork is made of carbon fiber and features a slight design change with larger vents and a huge rear wing, as you can see there. In this vehicle, you can get one of two versions of the Turbo S's flat six engine, which has been tuned by Rough, which is so cool. And one of them comes with 740 horsepower and 685 pound-feet of torque, and the other with 818 horsepower.
That thing is awesome.
It's crazy.
I kind of like the way the wing is integrated, but
it's cool.
Attached on the end.
Yeah, I agree. So
it's a departure from Porsche, but you can still see it's got the bones.
Yeah, exactly. You know? It's got a little 959 in it, right?
Yeah.
So with that, also you get, of course, adaptive dampers. The car also gets a hydraulic ride height adjustment system which claims it can increase ground clearance from the standard 4.7 inches to 9.8 inches.
Again, reminiscent of, didn't the 959 have adjustable suspension? I feel like it maybe did.
I think it did. It's so cool. The company claims the Porsche can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.6 seconds on road tires. And the company will produce just 40 of these cars with a insane price tag of $583,000 for the conversion. So you still have to buy a 911 Turbo S for $200,000. That's crazy to me. That's a lot of money.
Wow.
I don't know if it's worth it for that much money. But check out this interior.
That's cool.
It's pretty insane.
So they just totally got the thing, huh?
Yeah.
Kinda.
There's
some things that are
they keep the interior. From something really cool, we go to something kind of boring. Jeep has revealed the new and improved Compass. So the 2022 Jeep Compass gets a mid-cycle design update. The exterior sees a few changes, like an altered front end with smaller headlights, a larger lower grille, thinner grille slats, and new taillights. The 2.4-liter inline-four engine stays, of course, available with front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. And the biggest changes are being made to the interior and technology options, now with the option of a 10.1-inch infotainment screen, which this interior looks fantastic.
That's a step up for Jeep, for sure.
It looks good.
I kind of like what they did with the front end, too.
It looks better. It looks
nice
a lot better.
Evolution of what was there.
It's basically a smaller Cherokee is what it looks like now.
Yeah, Why not?
I love the Cherokee. I don't have any problem with that. The interior, as we can see, sees a major improvement, favoring leather over plastic on the dashboard and certain trim pieces, giving it a much more premium look, which I think, Jeep, what they've been doing lately, they've really been transforming what they do.
Yeah.
It looks good. There's also new trim being added to the lineup, so it's got the Sport, Latitude, Latitude Luxe, Limited, and Trailhawk. Prices start at $26,490 for the front-wheel drive Jeep Compass Sport and go all the way up to $33,090 for the Trailhawk.
See, I told you, and I don't know that it's a direct correlation here, but it is a good thing if Ford brings out a Bronco and there's a Bronco Sport that's basically a Compass, right?
Yep.
It's good because Jeep needs some competition. They need reasons to get hungry and do things more creatively. And
I agree. So, which is,
maybe we're seeing some of that already.
But they've even been being pushed other way. The Grand Wagoneer is like a luxury SUV from Jeep.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Good for them.
I'm all for it. I'm liking what they're putting out lately.
For sure.
So next here we have the first high-performance N model sedan from Hyundai. Introducing the 2022 Hyundai Elantra N. This sedan comes with a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine pushing 286 horsepower and has Hyundai's N grin shift overboost function, only available with the dual clutch option. This is kind of cool. So the overboost provides 10 extra horsepower for 20 seconds and is initiated from a button on the steering wheel. I don't really know. I mean, 10 extra horsepower, I don't know how much that's going to help, but I still think it's pretty cool. Enthusiasts will also be glad because you can get this with a 6-speed manual or a 8-speed dual clutch transmission. And the Hyundai also claims with the DCT and launch control, the sedan goes from 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds.
That is interesting. They're going to keep a stick in an Elantra.
It's cool.
Yeah. The back's not bad. I'm not the biggest fan of the front, but
I'm with you on that. I
It's
don't really like the front at all.
Interesting.
The back's not horrible.
Like I said, they're getting creative.
But then look at the interior.
I kind of like the fact that they're bringing out this, just developing the N package.
Oh yeah, I agree. They're trying to build their own little sub-brand sports division there. I like the interior.
It's not bad.
So the Elantra N is expected to arrive in the U.S. by the end of the year or early next year and start around $30,000.
See, I would say that they've done a better job of integrating the screen. Like that is a large screen, but it still looks like it's not just like stuck on.
Yeah,
there.
I agree. So next is some great news about another incredible enthusiast car, and this is exciting. Introducing the 2022 Volkswagen Golf R and its return to the U.S. market after 2 years. The redesigned hot hatch comes with a turbocharged 2-liter engine producing 315 horsepower and sends it to all wheels unless otherwise selected with the car's drift mode.
Nice.
So cool. So the car comes with all the interior niceties as you would expect and comes with a standard 6-speed manual transmission with the 7-speed dual clutch available for $800.
Wow. That's exciting. I'm so glad they're bringing that back.
I love the Golf R. If you don't love the Golf R, we don't love you.
You just don't really like cars, probably, which is fine. You don't have to like cars. I don't know
you do.
Why you'd be watching this or listening, but whatever.
Man, I like it a lot.
There's just something about them. The GTIs
I don't even love hatches like that much, but these hot hatches are so cool. There's just something about them.
They've got the right balance in that car, though. It's just fun to drive.
I mean, you've driven one, right?
Fun to drive. Yeah, and it's fantastic.
They're cool. I still need to drive. I've never driven one. I really want to. So next here is an absolutely insane new car from Aston Martin. So this is pretty cool. Introducing the Aston Martin Valhalla.
Oh yeah.
The insane hypercar boasts an AMG-sourced V8 producing 740 horsepower. Now that's not all the horsepower this car has. This also has a plug-in hybrid system electrifying the front axle, bringing total horsepower output to 937 horsepower. What? So the 4-liter twin-turbo V8 itself makes that 740 horsepower and revs to 7,200 RPMs, sending its power to the rear wheels through the 8-speed dual-clutch transmission. Then there are 2 electric motors fitted to this car, one for the front axle and the other assisting the combustion engine in the rear to kind of distribute the power. Aston has promised a 2.5 second 0 to 60 time, a top speed of 217 miles per hour, and claims that the car is on track to do a 6:30 lap time at the Nürburgring Nordschleife.
Wow.
Which would take the current record of the Porsche GT2 RS, which ran a 6:37.
It's got more horsepower.
But for all that performance, pricing has not officially been released, but is rumored to be around $800,000. Wow. So can we just say, I think that is a incredible testament to what Porsche does. Is that a car almost half the price is only going to be maybe, like if they actually run a 6:30, they'll be 7 seconds slower. That is a lot. That's a lot of time.
Well, if they
But
can pull
for
off
that amount
if they
of
can pull
money,
off that kind of lap time,
that's
that
insane.
would be a huge leap
That
in
would
performance.
yeah.
Because they're beating each other by tenths of a second. Like
Oh
that.
yeah,
So
that would be insane
on
if
the
they
current
actually
records,
hit that
like,
lap time.
But to your point again, like some of the others that are out there for that type of performance, I mean, 2.5 seconds 0 to 60. That's
They're already
that's
doing
what
that
the
in the
Turbo,
Turbo
S,
S, yeah,
is doing,
which is
for
insane.
A couple 100,000. So,
And wait, check this out. You ain't even seen the
see.
best angle of this thing.
they have done an unbelievable job with the design work.
So
on that car.
fantastic.
It's a work of art. Actually,
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I love the tailpipes coming out of the,
Oh yeah,
up the
100%.
top center there,
So cool.
like a 918.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is something beautiful like every angle on that car.
Oh, it's so cool. Now notice there is no rear glass. So that is substituted with interior cameras because otherwise you can't see anything.
Yeah.
But man, it's cool.
too bad. I'm sure the
And
engine's
that-
like right there. It'd be
that,
nice to
that
see
looks
the engine
fantastic.
or something.
I know, I agree.
But the whole I like all the way around the looks of that car.
And last but most definitely not least, F1 has received a redesign.
Oh yeah.
F1's main goal for this new car is to reduce the complexity of the car's aerodynamics to prevent what they call dirty air, making it harder for cars behind to pass. So the current ones, they're so aggressive that it makes like the car
Turbulence.
behind it
Right.
not perform as well. So the reasoning behind this is to primarily promote much closer racing. The F1 announced that current cars can lose up to 47% of their downforce when just one car length behind another, which is
Interesting.
crazy.
So it's going to cut down the turbulence. It'll probably make it a little bit safer too.
The new
right?
design promises to bring that figure down to potentially just 18%.
Wow.
So what that does is, yes, it brings racing a lot closer, brings overtakes a lot more frequently, and makes it significantly safer because at those speeds, you kind of need that downforce to keep you on the ground.
Check
And
that thing
this
out.
is an awesome picture, by the way, with all the drivers around it. So, of course, this is F1's version, like the company's version of it. Each one can kind of make their own tweaks as long as they stay within the rules. And, of course, they have their own power units and stuff like that. So cool. So the underneath of the car has also been reworked as well, creating deep underfloor tunnels to promote downforce. And the wheel size also jumps from the current 13-inch wheels all the way to 18 inches.
Interesting.
And also
I didn't realize
reintroduces...
they were running on 13s.
Yeah.
Wow.
And also reintroduces wheel covers and small winglets over the wheels to, again, prevent any sort of dirty air. That thing looks awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Like, look at... And they also redesigned the rear wing as well. So crazy looking.
They went with the gooseneck attachment. Look at that. Yeah, that's fantastic. Huh.
So awesome.
I want to see one of those things moving.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, we are.
Right.
More on that later. That is it for today's episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check us out on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Anthony Siffel. And with that, have an excellent rest of your week.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll catch you later.
Peace out.